So listen.
Not with that one. With
So
the
listen,
main
you tell
deal.
me, huh, boy? You
You're
want to
gonna need
listen to
to-
me,
That's
boy?
You
That's
need to
just the
pick me
trailer.
up on Friday morning.
Where you
There's
going?
another.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is my 2008 Saab 9.3 TurboX. Woohoo! Yeah! It is one of 600 in North America, and I presume that it's one of the lowest mileage TurboXs that exists in North America. And I had purchased it off Coparts, and clearly it needs some work. So let's get to it. Like a really severe, big, good degreaser here, as you can see. So I'm gonna spray the whole car down, and then we're gonna power wash it. If you've ever power washed a deck and you've like watched the power washer just neatly clean the surface, that's what's going on here. There's like a nice like millimeter of stuff, crap, just filmed to the paint. So that power washing was obviously took me about 15-20 minutes. I've been power washing about 15-20 minutes here. I got the whole car, so a lot came off. Let's look at the driveway. You can see what I'm talking about here. You can see all the mud and all the crap that's coming off this car. It's running all the way down the driveway there. So quite a bit. But you know, we're restoring this car and it's gonna look really nice when we're done. So let's have at it. I'm gonna put that wheel back on here shortly, but in the meantime, I'm gonna gas that sucker up since it ran out already. We're gonna get under the hood, turn the car on, let it run and warm up, dry, and keep going. So as you saw in the previous few clips here in this video, we spent some time power washing and getting a lot of the surface grime off of this car, and as you can see, a lot of it came out. It still needs to be buffed, polished, clay barred, and more to come, because obviously we have some rust spots, so we need to address some of the rust areas. And of course these headlights need some work. However, if you saw in the previous video, which I'll link right here, we did drive this vehicle around the block, or at least attempt to, and the ABS light came on, and of course we got a blown shock mount, or excuse me, a blown spring in the front, because we're getting some popping noise there, but we're also getting a popping noise in the rear of the passenger side of the car. So I'm going to go ahead today and inspect that popping noise in the rear of this car, and also check out the wheel speed sensor that's in the rear of this car, because that's causing the ABS light. So let's check it out, whether it's a sensor, whether it's the harness, or whether maybe it's just a lot of dirt grime built up like the rest of the car, and maybe there's just a miscommunication going on in the harness. So let's check it out, boys.
So listen.
Not with that one. With
So
the
listen,
main
you tell
deal.
me, huh, boy? You want to
gonna need
listen to
to-
me,
That's
boy?
You
That's
need to
just the
pick me
trailer.
up on Friday morning.
Where are you
There's
going?
another
Drop my car off at
15-minute
USA
video.
Wheels.
that I'm
Cool.
still working on.
I'm getting the 2 front ones done.
All right, I'll be back. Okay.
The other ones are okay.
You gotta scoot over so.
As you can see, there's a lot of surface rust on this car, so we definitely need to treat it. As far as the popping noise, when I was lifting this up, you can see the wheels sputtering, right? So I think that it has something to do with this shock actually leaking fluid. Look at that. It is leaking fluid. So I'm gonna go ahead and presume that this needs to be replaced. There's a little hydraulic fluid on the top of this, so that isn't so good to see. As for the rest of this is all surface rust. I think what we'll do is we'll sand it down eventually and respray, clean up the rust. This is a Pennsylvania car, so not a big deal. All right, guys, so I just really want to watch and observe how this car suspension here is handling the weight. So I put the jack stand there underneath the control arm to try to push the suspension up to see what's going on, where it's popping, and yeah, so let's check it out. All right, guys, so I think after just some motion of greasing it and moving it around since this car's been sitting, it seems to be getting a little bit better, not as jittery. But if anybody out there has some sort of suggestion of how to get rid of a lot of that surface rust, as you saw, I took a wire brush to the surface. So if anybody out there has a suggestion of what I should do to get rid of a lot of that, obviously it's not crucial to the structure of the car because obviously it's just surface. However, in the project of restoring this beauty, we want to make sure it's done right because it's a nice car and it's going to be a good one. So let me know what you guys think out there. Outside that, everything looks to be in good shape. The brake pads are new. The rotors are a little corroded. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are as I continue to inspect every portion of this vehicle. All right, guys, I will say this. It's the first time I've poked my head underneath this car, and it's very dry under there. Little surface rust again on the subframe. Nothing that we can't fix. Again, if you guys have any advice on that, link it below in the comments. But no fluid dripping. There's nothing. Clean, dry. I'll show you right now. Very, very happy with that. Yeah, let's keep it going. All right, guys, so there is a visual difference from this side to the other side on the spring. If you notice, the spring here is all flat and flush all the way around, where the other side, part of the spring was cracked and sticking up through this side, rubbing on here, which is what's causing the grinding noise when you turn the wheel. So there's the problem. I'm gonna go ahead and order 2 springs for this car because I don't want to do one at a time. I might as well just get them both done. Obviously, the rest of the car here is in decent shape. Nothing that really is too upsetting. Our brake pads are good. Obviously, we got some corrosion on the rotor. So we'll drive the car a little bit eventually once we're done with the suspension stuff. Get it running, hopefully get all that rust away. If it doesn't, then we'll go ahead and just replace the rotors. So that is good news once again. None of this stuff is actually really scaring me. It's just, you know, dollars and cents. Does it make sense to do blah, 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 compared to the rest of the damage on the car? Maybe somebody else who wasn't capable of doing this by themselves, hence the previous owner, which is probably why they got rid of the car. They let the car go too much. But I think we can save it. In fact, we're going to save it. So give it a thumbs up and a subscribe if you guys believe in what we're doing here, because your support matters and my ability of making this all happen. So I want to thank you again. Appreciate it. Let's put this wheel back on. Go to the next side. All right, guys, so here is the problem on this side of the car. You can see the strut shock is actually blown. So again, brakes look good. Same type of rust over here, it's just surface, so we're gonna address that and go from there. So I'm gonna order the parts. Not too shabby. I'm not upset again, not upset. We're gonna fix this, guys. We're gonna fix this. Let's go to the back, check out that speed sensor, and go from there. All right, guys, so this side is more of the same. The speed sensor warning that I was getting with the ABS light, it was coming from this side, so I'm gonna inspect it a little bit more, but check it out. Brake pads again are good. Same as everywhere else in the back here, so we'll have to address the surface rust. So yeah, let's go check out speed sensor. Stay tuned, boys. All right, boys. As you can see, we got a nice stick holding this window up. So that tells me that there's something wrong with the regulator here, and or a clip is broken. So let's check it out. Alright guys, so as you can see here, the window regulator is busted as I predicted. So for now, I'm just gonna tape the window back into place, put this on pause, because I'm gonna try to find a window regulator at a junkyard cheap. There's no reason to buy one new, or maybe I'll just buy one new because they're probably like 50 bucks. So I'll buy a new regulator, and we'll get it in. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude this episode of this rebuild rehab project. I just went ahead and diagnosed everything that was possibly wrong with the car to get it on the road, suspension wise and of course speed sensor wise. Window obviously is not crucial, but since we had some time we knocked it out. I'm going to order the parts. In the next episode, be sure to stay tuned because we're going to go ahead and flush all of the fluids out of this car. I have no idea how long this car has been sitting, so we're going to change the coolant and we're going to change the oil. And of course, the brakes seem to be working fine, so I'll just check the fluid there to see if we need to bleed the brakes. The lines, of course, are not rusted, so that's nice to see. Saab did put good, solid brake lines on their cars because obviously out of Sweden, you need good brake lines from all the weather. So solid brake lines. Anyways guys, be sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.